Love it or leave it.
Now it's time for a Valentine's Day edition of Gay News. You remember Gay News, right? We go ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da, Gay News.
Gay News, yep.
Hit it, Brian. Okay. Oh, is this going to keep playing the whole time? Okay. Ba-da-ba-ba-da, Gay News.
Gay News.
Conservatives online flipped out over a new Netflix show that depicts Alexander the Great as bisexual, even though historians say they have evidence he had ongoing relationships with both men and women. Alexander wept, for there were no more sexes to conquer. Ba-da-ba-ba-da, Gay News.
Gay News. Conservatives hate it when something is politically correct, and they're not huge fans of regular correct stuff either.
Said one conservative, the woke mob is coming for all of our heroes. Who's next? Plato, Julius Caesar, Franz Fabulous, the inventor of the feather boa? Ba-da-ba-ba-da, Gay News.
Ryan Murphy's Feud, Capote vs. the Swans, starring Naomi Watts and Tom Hollander, premiered on FX, where it follows a glamorous group of New York socialites whom Truman Capote befriended and betrayed by publishing their intimate secrets in Esquire. Gay guy being a fabulous little bitch is an underrated part of queer history, and also my favorite part. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba, Gay News.
Kalista Flockhart is back too, and you know what that means. Harrison Ford was pottering around the house, stoned out of his gourd, opening and closing the fridge. Can you picture it? Wondering when she'd be home so he could show her some TikToks. I don't even have a joke. I just like picturing Harrison Ford with nothing to do.
Now that's what I call a temple of doom.
Hey!
Thank you
Hey,
very much.
maybe you go for Last Crusade to the pantry.
There's no jokes about Ark of the Covenant, so we'll just move on.
Yep. Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
Gay News.
Gay News. Oklahoma State Republicans introduced a bill Monday that would attempt to ban pride celebrations or rainbow flags on state property at any time of year. You can say it's bigoted, but it's part of a long and noble tradition of Republicans making sure that male leads in Oklahoma high school musicals actually go through with their plan to move to New York. Look, I want Oklahoma to be as safe for gay kids as a Los Angeles charter school that lets queer teens identify as mushrooms. But Broadway will suffer. Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
Gay News. While ranting about January 6th insurrectionists being charged for breaking the law, Charlie Kirk suggested that they should have stripped naked and filmed themselves having gay sex to escape punishment. You don't have to strip naked to have gay sex, objected one person who was just walking by.
Then Charlie Kirk began to tear up and said, "My greatest regret is that I didn't think of this in time to save Ashley Babbitt."
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Gay News.
A solemn gay news.
Yeah, a solemn gay news. The topic of lesbian bar etiquette set the algorithm aflame this week after a straight woman posted a TikTok complaining that a lesbian bar patron had asked her straight male friend why he was in New York's famous and famously small lesbian bar, Cubbyhole. She became suspicious after the actual female body inspector arrived for his regular evening shift.
Where else are straight men supposed to go where they feel welcome if not a lesbian bar? Anywhere else on the planet except maybe the American Girl doll store, unless they're with someone else and then it's also fine?
The straight woman pointed to the amount of very obviously flamboyantly gay men that were in that bar that were not being approached and yelled at as evidence that her straight friend was wronged. Based entirely on the lesbians I work with, approaching and yelling at you is just their standard greeting. They're a direct and gruff people. There are no pleasantries with lesbians. You have to learn their customs. For example, never show a lesbian your back. You have to puff up your chest to keep your eyes on the lesbian. And carefully walk backwards until you've reached your vehicle to the safety of a Brandy Melville. So, if a lesbian is intimidating you, the worst thing you could do is turn around and try to run. They're fast. They're fast. They're fast. What you got to do is you put your arms out. You got to puff up and you go, "Hey, lesbian. Hey, no lesbian." They sell lesbian spray, but you got to be careful.
It sprays back.
It comes back.
It comes right back.
It'll come right back on you. You got to watch the wind with that lesbian spray. Ba-da-ba-ba-da, Gay News.
According to the National Center for Transgender Equality, nearly half of America's transgender people have considered moving to another state due to anti-trans legislation. while the other half is considering it to jumpstart their industrial house synthwave power pop careers.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da, gay
Gay
news.
news.
Pope Francis took issue with conservatives, angry he sanctioned the blessing of same-sex couples last month. But as soon as that pink smoke came out of the Vatican, everyone knew it was going to be a woke pope.
Starring Jude Law. Nobody gets scandalized if I give my blessings to a businessman who perhaps exploits people, and this is a very grave sin, the Pope told Italian Catholic magazine Credere. But they get scandalized if I give them to a homosexual. This is hypocrisy. Now, personally, I subscribe to the Italian Catholic magazine Credere for the spicy centerfolds, but I do think the Pope made an excellent point.
Woke pope, woke pope, woke pope, woke pope. Ba-da-ba-ba-da, gay news. This week, Valentina Gomez, a Missouri Republican running for Secretary of State, posed a video in which she set fire to a pile of LGBTQ library books with a flamethrower. I have a number of questions for Gomez. First among them, what do you think the Secretary of State does?
I guess they didn't spark joy.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da, gay news.
It's 2018.
I knew that. Look, I know that this person wants attention, and I know this is a rhetorical question. But how can you do a literal book burning and not realize you're the villain in the story? Where do you look to find a role model in the book burning?
When Atticus Finch burned all those books and Mario and Princess Peach beat Bowser and burned all
those
books.
You got it. They're never the heroes, the people burning the books.
Right.
Never. Right? Unless they're like, got bugs. Sorry.
And then you gotta burn
Then you gotta
bugs.
burn them.
Because the bugs come back.
Because the bugs will come back.
Like the lesbian spray.
Like the-
The 2022 U.S. Trans Survey, the largest survey of trans people with 92,000 respondents, found that 94% of people reported being happier after transition. When reached for comment, anti-trans writer J.K. Rowling replied, "Wizards don't have goon caves, you know. They just tug one out in public, then cast a memory wipe spell." Thank you, J.K.
Up, gay news.
Gay news.
In his new memoir, Billy D. Williams recalls politely turning down Marlon Brando after the On the Waterfront actor propositioned him, telling the star, "I prefer women." Williams said of the come on, "I've been getting hit on all my life. Gay, straight, whatever. Somebody's always hitting on me." Same, Billy D. Williams. Same. Oh, by the way, anybody want to go to Buca de Beppo with me on Valentine's Day? It's just hard to go to a family-style restaurant alone.
Do you know? This is off card, but I believe Buca de Beppo in Italian translates to Beppo hole or
Yes.
Beppo mouth.
No, hole. No. Oh, yes, you're close. It's
Hole mouth. No. What is it? It's something
It's
weird.
someone's hole.
It's like Uncle Hole.
I think it's like Bill's hole.
I'm taking my family to Bill's Hole.
And you know
It's-
what? It's a great hole.
Yeah. Got to get that shrimp marinara somewhere. Okay. And finally, nearly 30% of Gen Z identifies as being part of the LGBTQ community.
And nearly 50% of millennials answered, would be if I were growing up now, but I'm married, so it's like, what's that conversation? But anyway, really appreciate you asking. I'm gonna go get my slob of a husband more grapes and then stare out the window until my tits hit the ground.
Woke Pope,
Woke Pope, woke Pope, woke Pope, woke Pope. And that's gay news.
Hey!
Guys, everybody check out Andrew's podcast, Scary Stories to Tell on the Pod. What kind of stories do you tell on the pod?
Scary ones mostly. I know it's a very misleading title.
What's a scary story?
So we started with a series of books called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, but now listeners send us their own scary stories. And the most recent one we had was about a woman's baby who can see into other dimensions.
Huh.
Yeah. Pretty good and completely true.
I had a dream.
Everyone's like, no, I don't believe in it.
I had a
Well, you're
dream
gonna
where
get
I had a dream where I was on the phone with a friend, and then I got killed by a car, but I was still on the phone, and if they hung up, I wouldn't exist.
That is very scary. I sometimes see a bald, naked man walking through my house right before I fall asleep.
And that's your husband. And that's what marriage
My
is all
husband has
about.
a full head of hair.
Wow, wait, that's cool.
Don't look under the seam. Yeah.
And you're on, and so your pod's out every Tuesday, and Praise Petey, which you wrote and acted on, is currently streaming on Hulu.
That's correct.
When we come back, it's time for Valentine's.
believe it.